Almost 30 years ago, Nelson Mandela expressed that international relations should encompass not only political and economic aspects, but prioritize human rights as a guiding principle for South Africa's foreign affairs. South Africa's 2022 National Interest Framework reaffirmed these objectives to promote prosperity for its citizens, endorse the value of sovereignty, and commitment to global development. The Russian invasion of Ukraine in 2022, however, finds South Africa in contradiction of its stated values. The government has taken a passive stance on Russia's aggression and violation of human rights in Ukraine.
So you can't say because Ukraine has been invaded that suddenly sovereignty is important, but it was never important for Palestine. It's very peculiar.
You know, this moral equivalence and what I would describe as whataboutism that has been presented as South Africa's foreign policy towards Russia is inconsistent and incoherent. What South Africa must do is insist that the principles of sovereignty, democracy, territorial integrity are maintained, irrespective of which country is infringing upon these principles, including Russia.
Despite criticisms, renewed camaraderie was established when South Africa hosted Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov in January 2023 and subsequently collaborated with Russia and China in naval drills off the country's eastern shores.
We believe we should have the right to decide who we relate to and on what basis.
You know, the strategic ambiguity and the inconsistency that is demonstrated in South Africa's relations, in particular with the United States and Europe versus its perceived closeness to Russia, can be understood in historical terms, in that the ANC itself had strong relations with the Soviet Union. But remember, the Soviet Union has long gone. What we're faced with is indeed an imperialist, almost czarist Russia, led by Vladimir Putin, who insists on infringing on the territorial integrity of states like the Ukraine and their sovereignty. And South Africa fails to condemn this because of its perceived closeness. That is, in actual fact, the ANC's closeness with Vladimir Putin and Russia.
Key trading partners in the West are very concerned. As such a resolution calling for a thorough review of the US-South Africa relationship was initiated in the US Congress recently.
What South Africa must do is actually calculate the damage and the cost that this incoherence and strategic ambiguity in favor of Russia could have on its trade relations and indeed on its broader global ambitions.
The value of trade with the US is approximately $400 billion US. South Africa exports 50 times more to the US and 150 times more to Europe than to Russia. This trend also reflects in imports.
So in essence, what we need to do and call upon is national interest leading South Africa's foreign policy, not the personalized interests of the ANC and the leaders of the ANC with Russia.